Hello. Hi. It's Brandy Rose Smith live from the Forbidden Library. And today we have a game, technically. I was gonna say no game because it's just gonna be plan is to chat shit about my holiday. Attempt to my first chatting stream. I haven't done I did the focus streams, which have like a bit of chatting in with the capybara. Capybaras. But not one that's solely chatting, because I don't talk for a whole hour in those streams. This one, I plan to try talk the whole ass time. Hope you're ready for some Barbados stories. This is my cookie clicker, or at least my online one. My mobile one is a lot more impressive because that one goes on for a while. This one I keep forgetting to actually get going. I forget I have it. So first I'm going to just click some upgrades. Get all the upgrades. Upgrades are very important. And I'll check my phone because I've whooped. Yeah. And then I will tell you about my holiday. So in the library there is a sunny resort which suspiciously is a lot like Barbados, and suspiciously you have to take a flight there and everything. So I went to Barbados, and it was great. And as you can see, I got a lot of sun. Didn't start well though. Didn't start great. Because we got on the plane, ready to go, was super excited. And then the pilot, we started taxiing out to the runway, and then we stopped, and I was like, oh, okay, they're just probably waiting for the next plane to clear off. That's fine. But no, we got a message over the intercoms going like, I'm sorry everyone, there's a computer that's not working in the plane. I was like, oh, that's worrying. Hello, hey, look up to Will, how are you? No, you're cool, shut up. Starting off strong, aren't you? My chat's not working. Yeah, and I have a broken chat. Oh, there we go. There you go. You appeared. It's all good. But no, shut up. How dare you start this? My blush doesn't really work very well when I'm this tanned. Terrible. You're terrible. Anyway. I was saying that... So there was a computer fault on the plane on the way to Barbados. So they had to taxi back to the terminal we went back on. Sorry, 1 second. Shuffling my seat. I was not in prime storytelling position. Oh, yeah. So we taxied back... Got back on there, and they were like, oh, well, we'll do a restart, and hopefully we'll be fine. So they did a restart, and then we taxied back out, and then we stopped. And then we got another call. Oh, it's not worked. We had to go all the way back. Eventually, what they had to decide to do was, like, swap the faulty bit of technology with that of another plane. And we couldn't get off the plane during this time, so we were stuck on the plane for 4 hours before a 9-hour flight. It was terrible. But bless the crew. I know! It was awful. But bless the crew. Apparently we'd been sat there so long that they were out of hours at that point. They could have gone home and left us. If the flight crew decided that they just wanted to go home, they could have. And we would have had to, like, wait till the next day to go. But luckily, we were going to Barbados. So, like us, they were also like, yes, we would like to go to Barbados. We will be staying over there for a few days. So, we managed to go in the end, which was wonderful. No, they did stay. They did stay. 10 out of 10 for those Virgin flight people. We did have to get a different pilot because one of the pilots didn't want to go, I think, or something like that. But bless the cabin crew. They came through for us. And not only did they come through for us, they sorted out so they could have a slightly different route to go, so they shaved off a bit of time. And they also managed to swing us some extra snacks. We got treated to just not the most impressive snacks in the world. Obviously, it's a plane. Just some extra pretzels, and we got like an apple ice lolly. I don't want to say like ice cream because it's not ice cream. It's an ice lolly. Yeah, we got some extra snackies on the way, and then got underway, and we finally got to Barbados quite late at night, which is fine by me because I was very sleepy. But I did not go straight to sleep because I hadn't had dinner. They had dinner, but by the time like the second meal was being served on the plane, I was not feeling very well. I just wanted to get off the goddamn plane at that point, so I slept through most of that. And then when I got to the hotel, I felt really hungry. So what I did is the most bougiest thing I could possibly do at the start of a holiday. Ran a bath, and I ordered room service. And I had cheese and crackers and a rum and coke while in the bath. And the bath was on the balcony, so it was outside as well. So we got a lovely view of the night sky at the same time. Just so bougie. Started as I meant to go on with many bougie things. Get some cookie things while I'm at it. On the farm, why not? It was lovely. The hotel I went to was probably one of the poshest ones I've ever been to. You went into the room, and the mini bar was a lot less mini than I've ever seen. There were there was about 5 giant bottles. One was full of rum, one was full of vodka, one was full of wine, one was full of gin, and I think one was full of brandy? ? But it was like any spirit you could possibly want. Then in the fridge below, you had your Coke, your lemonade, any kind of mixer you want. It was so good. And that was just all included, all free, because it was an all-inclusive hotel, and it was great. They didn't have any kind of limitations on what you want. They had all the fancy booze. You could be on champers the whole time if you really wanted to be. That was very good. Second day, I had notes so I don't forget these things. Let me get my notes. I didn't take many pictures, unfortunately, because I'm a dum-dum, and I kind of just get into what I'm doing on the holidays and forget to take pictures sometimes. But we went up to breakfast on the first day, and I can at least show you the view. This was the view at breakfast on the first day. It was so good. And I had steak for breakfast the first day. Because carrying on with being incredibly, incredibly bougie, I saw steak and eggs on the menu, and I was like, fucking steak. I had cheese and crackers in the bath. Now it is time for steak. And it was a wonderful steak. Perfect for the morning, just a little bit of steak and a couple of eggs, just some fried eggs with it, nothing fancy. However, I went with... Fuck it. I know YouTubers aren't supposed to be in relationships and whatnot in some cases, but I do, in fact, have a boyfriend. I went with my boyfriend and his sister and his sister's husband. When we sat down for dinner, I started the holiday terribly because I pushed my chair in, and the menu was quite tall. So I pushed the menu, and the menu pushed the sugar pot in the middle, which pushed the milk next to the sugar pot, and it fell straight over and soaked my boyfriend's sister. I am a klutz, and yeah, that was how I started. His sister definitely didn't know how much of a klutz I was until this holiday. Her husband genuinely asked me at one point, it's like, are you doing this on purpose, or you were genuinely a klutz? I'm like, why would I do this on purpose? Why would anyone do that on purpose? I don't know. And normal people must be so much more coordinated than me, because I am not. Oh gosh, I mean, have you had a lot of accidents at work before? But that milk issue became a bit of a running joke. Every time we came to a restaurant, we talked about, no one's gonna sit across from Bryony today. They'll be in the splash zone. Yeah, it's all good. You gotta roll with it, haven't you? Roll with the punches, because who cares if it's part of you? Just try and make it funny. I started making my own jokes about it, and it was all good. The rest of that day was pretty chill. This was my first strawberry daiquiri that I had there. It was very tasty. I loved that they had the slushy strawberry daiquiris. First ever strawberry daiquiri I had was a slushy strawberry daiquiri. It was from a place near me, and I never managed to find another one. So I was very, very glad to have the slushy strawberry daiquiri. Alcoholic slushies are the best. And that they cooled you down lovely. And it kind of showed it. You can kind of make out where I stayed on that picture, but hey ho, it doesn't really matter. I'm not there anymore. Yes, I mean, it was all inclusive. Could have all the booze I wanted. I'm not the biggest boozy person. I'll admit, on the first few days I got a little bit excited and I had more booze than I probably should have. There was only one day that I really drank a little bit too much, but the rest of it I managed to be fairly sensible. Fairly. And then we get to the second day, which I wish I'd taken pictures for. Oh, I might be able to Google some stuff from it, actually, because where's my thing? So we went. Spent all day on the plane, and I'm really glad we had the chill out day afterwards. I needed to just cool down after that. It was nothing worse. Luckily, like the plane there was quite quiet as well, so you had like your 2 seats in the corner where me and my boyfriend were sitting. Then there were like the 4 in the middle, and then the 2. And the 4 in the middle next to us was completely empty. So at some point, I just kind of gave up. I pushed all the arms up, and I lay down on all 4, and 3, and I had a sleep, because that was just the only way. Because trying to sleep, because we didn't have like premium economy or first class or anything. It was just straight up, you can't move sandwich box economy, and you cannot get a comfortable sleeping position in those things. It's just impossible. Ooh, golden cookie, yay. So that's the only way I managed to get some sleep without passing out. Where was I gonna cool? Because I remember because the next day after the plane and the chill out, we went on a boat trip, a catamaran cruise. And I remember what the company is called, so I might be able to just get some promotional pictures from them to show you. At least what the boat looks like. That'll be more fun. Images. Google images. Well, cozier images. Here we go. I'll just show you this. I'm sure it'll be fine, right? Yeah! So we went on one of these boats. Had a whole day on there. You got like the netting and stuff. And you get to go snorkeling, which is very cool. I saw some turtles. Saw some turtles in the sea, and I saw some shipwrecks. My parents, they like to do snorkeling stuff. So, they lent me these like full face snorkel masks. Let me show you. Full face snorkel mask. Yeah. Yeah, like these. And they were really good. Because I find like snorkeling's really annoying, like having the thing in your mouth and it's just you don't know how to breathe properly, and then you have to be really awkward not to like get your pipe underwater. The water kind of did look like that. It was really nice. Like, it wasn't cold at all. You could just get in. There was no sort of getting used to it. It was just glorious. Honestly, the sea was warmer than the pool. The actual pool at the hotel was pretty chilly, which was nice at times when you were really warm and needed to cool down. But the sea was warmer. It was toasty. And then with the snorkel mask, I was able to see all the things. I just like leaned down and there it was. It was great. And there was, while you were out there seeing the shipwrecks, one of the shipwrecks was apparently a former drug boat that got sunk by, I think it was coastal police or something like that. So they're not fancy shipwrecks by any means, but they were down there for a good amount of time. And they had so much coral on there and stuff like that. It looked so cool. Yeah, I love swimming. I love swimming quite a lot. I used to do it a lot, but there's no opportunity to in real life. Unless you like specifically sign up to a gym with a pool, there's really no chance of swimming whatsoever in like modern life, is there? Which is a shame, because swimming is so much fun and such good exercise. I like being in water. I like being submerged in water. It makes me happy. I need to swap gyms so that I have one at my gym. That would be lovely, but I don't. So, oh well. Where was I? Oh yeah, I talked about the shipwrecks. And this is the day I got the most burnt as well. Because the biggest problem is you go in your bikini and you've got your face down all the time, looking at stuff in the water, and you're just floating. So your back and your shoulders are exposed to the sun. So yeah, my back and shoulders got really burned that day. I was paying for that for the rest of the holiday. Had to be very careful. But I had this little cardigan that literally only covered my shoulders and a little bit of my back, so that was perfect. So I was well prepared. Well prepared, at least. How are my cookies going? More wizard towers, please. Thank you. Water. Now, the cool running boats that we were on are known for being a little rowdy. They have a lot of alcohol on board. And it got very rowdy. And right at the end, they got everyone to jump up and start dancing as you get off, and it was really good. Really, really good. And then on the way back, we got on the bus to go back to sort of the hotel. And in the front, we had some very drunk and rowdy Scots women. Cookies! Indeed. And in the back, we had some very rowdy Americans. And they were just yelling at each other up and down the bus and trying to drag other people into what they were doing, going, go so-and-so, go so-and-so. Oh, loud people. Although they had a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun, but by that point, I kind of just wanted a nap. Like, me, my boyfriend, sister, and husband were all pretty wiped out after the boat. It was a lot of effort. I also got way too used to my sea legs, and even on dry land, if I stopped for a minute, I could still feel the rocking of the boat for like a day afterwards. It took me ages. We weren't even on the boat. We were on the boat like a lot of the day, I'll admit. Like, it was a good, I don't know, 5 hours maybe? I don't know. But I shouldn't have been recovering for that long. Should have done better. Oh, wizard towers. They summon cookies with their magical spells. At least I did manage to have dinner. And again, I really wish I'd taken a picture of the dinner. So, hotel I was staying in had a lot of like different themed restaurants and stuff for you to go to in the evening. And one of them was an American themed one. So we decided to go to that one because we weren't that hungry, because we were all feeling a bit iffy from the boat. And we can get American food in England pretty easily. Like we have a restaurant called TGI Fridays, which does pretty good ribs and all that good American barbecue goodness. So we weren't too fussed about if we didn't eat it all. So, and the starter we got was some meatballs, and the way they displayed these meatballs. So it was 2 meatballs, and then it was some celery sticks and carrot sticks placed in the middle of the 2 meatballs facing up. And then the end of the celery sticks and carrot sticks was in a pool of sour cream. I love whoever decided to do that. I should have given compliments to the chef. I really should, for their masterful placement of things on the starter. I just entertained the heck out of me. As you can tell by that description, it was not a kid-friendly hotel. But then I think kids would get a laugh out of that anyway. I mean, it's just a pee-pee. It's just a funny pee-pee made out of carrots and celery. Entertained the heck out of me. It really did. It was not say so, but it was entertaining. Because I have the sense of humor of a 2-year-old, that is for sure. Maybe not a 2-year-old, more like a 15-year-old, I suppose. 15-year-old is better. That was day 2, and that was very good. We didn't actually manage to eat the main by the end of it, because at that point the whole like not feeling great kicked in. So we managed to have like a few bites of the main, and then just off to bed. And that's where my notes ended, because I'm a dumb person who doesn't make notes and doesn't take photos. But at least I know the third day, because we front loaded this holiday specifically so that like we do all of the stuff when we get there, and then we have the rest of the time just to chill out. And on the third day, we did a walking food tour around Bridgetown, which is Barbados' capital city. And it was very good. We had a lot of history, and the fascinating thing about places like Barbados is that their history is kind of British history as well, because like they were a British colony until very recently. When did I'm gonna double check. When did Barbados become independent? So he didn't become independent till 1966. Yeah, 1966 is fairly recent, right? And then as soon as they did, that is 1960s. No, wait. Let me check. I'm fact checking myself before I start telling you history. So it didn't actually part ways with the Queen until very recently. What year did Barbados become independent? History of Barbados. Yeah, okay. So they became an independent state and formally joined the Commonwealth of Nations in 1966, but didn't actually split from England and the Crown until, if I'm reading this right, 2021. Like last year. Which is just how kind of new they are. They're babies. Barbados became a republic on November 30th, 2021. So it's heckin' recent. Yeah, exactly. Like, and as soon as they did, you know what they did? As soon as they did, they named Rihanna one of their national heroes. And I love that. They were like, yep, okay, we don't need the Crown's approval for anything anymore. Quickly, name Rihanna our national hero before they can say no. Yeah, so they are really just sort of fairly new to doing things. Well, not to doing things. Obviously, they've been independent for a while, but they just like they fully their own now. We finally let them go. But that's why it's very interesting, at least from a British standpoint, when it comes to countries like that, because learning how we fucked up the world, really. How we messed with other people's countries so much. It's interesting to find out. It's interesting to know what my ancestors did to mess up people's lives. But that was also part of a food tour. We're going to talk about the food. It is very interesting. I got food for my brain and food for my stomach during that thing. There was also a funny moment where another Barbadian man who was listening to our tour guide give the talk before we started was like, oh, but you haven't mentioned this, and this. And it's like, we don't have time for a full history lesson, my man. We have food to eat. And the food was good. Apparently, more fun facts for you. There are no McDonald's in Barbados. Barbados rejected McDonald's. The Big M has no sway there. Its people refused. Apparently, it's the portion sizes weren't big enough, and it didn't taste good enough because Barbadians take their food very seriously. Yes. Instead, they have their own sort of chain restaurant called Chefette, which I never got to try because that wasn't on the food tour, because the food tour was all about finding little hole-in-the-wall places. Oh, hey, Q! Welcome! I'm not an alien. I saw your little thing. I'm just a failed attempt to tanned. I'm not an alien. I'm just not tanned well. Good to see you. I'm here to talk about a food tour now. First up on the food tour was... So we stopped in front of what looked like a pawn shop. And everyone was like, why are we in front of it? We thought it was just a random place in the street we'd stopped. It was so weird. And the tour guide was like, yes, and this is the first place we're stopping. It's Timmy's. Or I think it was Timmy's or something like that. And then she turned to this just unassuming door next to the pawn shop. You would never even know it was there. It was crazy. Then you went up, and there was this lovely little place, and I had very tasty pork there. Very tasty. They're very good at spicing their pork there. Spicing their pork? Is that the right word? Spicing their pork? That doesn't sound good. Yes, a pawn shop with an A. With an A and a W, not an O and an R. Correct. Seasoning! That's the word! Thank you. I appreciate it. You can speak me. But yes, they're very good at seasoning their food there. It was very tasty. No, I am not an alien. Not been replaced by an alien, I swear. And again, I wish I took pictures. I wish I took more pictures. But I will just have to describe what it was. They also have many fruits there that are like potatoes, but are not potatoes. Golden cookie! And they also had this, like, pickled cucumber. Alien, I'm not an alien. Maybe I should have been an alien. Maybe that should have been my thing. I should have had my VTuber lore should have been that, like, I've come to Earth and I will read all these books to learn of your earthen ways. That would have been good. But it's too late now. Now I am reading books. Now I have a goal instead of just randomly reading shit. Anyway, I'm getting off course. Yes. Pickled cucumber. Obviously much more thrilling than alien talk. Pickled cucumber. Which didn't taste how I thought, because you think about pickled stuff and you think it's going to be like vinegary and bleh, but it was not vinegary and bleh. It was spicy. They used a lot of Scotch bonnets over there. Scotch bonnet chilies. And I thought that I would struggle, because my spice tolerance is so-so. Only so-so. But I actually did very well while I was there. I would say I have leveled up my spice tolerance to the point I could probably handle a higher level of Nando's than I do now. She says when I do actually just have lemon and herb, but I could probably easily handle a medium if I wanted to. Problem is, I actually just really like lemon and herb. Oh, that's a good idea. There wasn't many rocks, actually, though. Not that I could find, because they didn't really have rock beaches or anything like that. And when I was snorkeling, I couldn't really go far down to grab anything because the down was very far. I didn't really have a good opportunity to snatch a rock. I do have some rocks that I have snatched from places, though. I have done this. When me and the boyfriend went for a trip into Wales once, just to go see a waterfall, because neither of us had seen a waterfall in real life, and we realized we should probably do this because it's cool. And who doesn't want to see a waterfall in real life? So we ended up coming home with 4 rocks, not just one each. We got a rock that we picked for each other, and then a rock we picked for ourselves. That was a very good day. We got rocks, and the waterfall was very pretty, very pretty. Not as loud as I thought it was going to be. Quite loud when you got close, but it's not quite the whole drown out all the sound around loud. It was interesting. The spicy pickle stuff. Did you smell what the rock was? No. I was gonna make a John Cena joke as well then, and I just messed it up. Oh well. I couldn't see it. How could I smell it? I don't know. I'm just being dumb. I got really sidetracked again. What were we talking? Where was I after? Food tour! Food! We're talking about food! I like food. Food's great. I'm food motivated. And this was very motivating. Second stop was like these fish cakes that were like really squishy. Food! They were squishy like oh, I don't know how to describe it. Like mochi. But like deep fried. Kind of cakey. They were really tasty. And they gave us some hot sauce for that too. Some Scotch bonnet hot sauce, and that was very tasty too. The texture of it was very tasty. I suggest, like, go Google like waterfalls near you and just do a day trip somewhere. Because it was a lovely day. Take a picnic. It's good. Also getting distracted again. And then the third stop was a bakery called Crumbs in Barbados, where you would not believe the size of the cakes they had there. Because you know how when we would normally make a cake and we would like chop it in the middle and like fill it with like strawberry or cream or something like that? No. They did have some cakes like that, but theirs was just chunk. They were massive. You know, you get the cake tins that you put them in, like your plastic cake tin, like average size cake tin. And when you see a cake, there's normally like space between the cake and the top of the cake tin. There was no space. That is how big the cake was. There was one cake in particular in the middle that looked like it was trying to escape from its cake tin. It was huge. Humongous. And then these slices that they gave out. Le chunk indeed. The chunkest slices of cake I have ever seen. And unfortunately I didn't get to have any because that was not what was on the menu. What was on the menu for us was a meat roll, which is kind of like a sausage roll, but the pastry was slightly different. It wasn't puff pastry. It was more of a kind of flaky one. It was more like what you use for like a not a samosa, something along those lines. And in the middle was like some ground beef, and that was very tasty too. I liked it. It wasn't as good as a sausage roll because I could live and die on a sausage roll, but it was very good. Very close second for meat in stuffing that is baked in pastry. It's better than a pasty, I'll give it that. Better than a pasty. And we also got a little bit of... it was a kind of a fruitcake. I can't remember what it was called properly. But we got a slice of fruitcake, but I saved my fruitcake for later because there was still more food to come on the tour and I didn't want to overstuff myself. Because you need to make sure you have room for everything. The stomach real estate while you're on holiday is very important. It was good. It was good. Oh. Sorry, there's some gross noises. Ha ha ha. Then, the final stop was... it was a bar called The Office. Which we all had to make the joke of like, oh, we're on holiday, we don't want to be in the office. And I think we were running quite late or they just weren't prepared for us because we had to like wait outside because there was like maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 9, 10 of us on the tour. So they had to quickly rearrange everything to make sure they had a table big enough for us. And once we sat down, we had some kind of fish that I don't remember what it was that was tasty and lovely seasoned. And a bit of mac and cheese pie, which is apparently something they love over there, or something that's good for them. And when people were telling me that they had mac and cheese pie over there, I was kind of more literally imagining a pastry pie with mac and cheese in it. Apparently that's not what it is. It's not what it is at all. It's actually more like a pasta bake, but mac and cheese. It was a nice bar, honestly. If we weren't there for like specifically because of the tour, it was one of those places you'd wanna stay. To be honest, it was pretty chill. It had a nice little balcony that you could just sort of watch the world go by. A lot of the places had that actually. It was really cool. I like being able to sort of people watch as people live their lives on holiday because obviously it's a completely like fairy tale place when you go on holiday. You don't have to worry about anything, but watching people just like live their daily lives there is somewhat fascinating for me. Yeah, we had mac and cheese pie. And I was also sitting there thinking, like, mac and cheese to me is something, like, distinctly American. But apparently not. But then Barbados imports 90% of what they have. And they apparently import a lot of it from America. So I suppose it shouldn't be too surprising that there's some American influences going on. And after we were done there, we had the final stop. We had pudding, which was a chocolate factory. There was a chocolate factory, an ice cream chocolate factory, where they made fresh ice cream, and it was wonderful. They had all your usual flavors, as well as things like there was like a nutmeg spice flavor, and I'm going blank. However, I made sure to get a flavor that you wouldn't normally find, and trying to make a point on holiday of like eating things I would never normally find at home, and trying fun new things. And the one I tried was salt. I think it was sweet peanut or something like that. It was a peanut flavored ice cream. It was really good, and it was rather than dairy, like milk based. Sorry, it was a coconut milk based ice cream. So that way, if you were lactose intolerant or anything like that, you could still enjoy that ice cream, which was lovely. Made it feel a little bit lighter, I think, as well. Left me less like clogged up like dairy does. that was the food tour. And then boyfriend's sister wanted to go out for a drink after that, so she asked the food tour lady if she knew where to go. And she escorted us to the next place wonderfully. She was a very, very nice lady. And was telling us about how she used to have an office job and just didn't like it at all. And eventually got to doing the food tours and just had a talent for just talking and talking and talking and talking and talking, and has just used that for food tours. And generally just she was so passionate and happy with what she was doing, and I think that's wonderful. I love seeing people happy where they are in life. It's great. That was the food tour. And then we had a rum punch in a bar that had that balcony bit, so I could just watch people go by. There were a lot of different school uniforms, I noticed. So there's probably quite a few different schools in Bridgetown. And also the buses. I forgot to tell you about the buses. So there's these buses that go around that are definitely incredibly unofficial. There's like actual buses that are definitely run by the government there, but there's definitely some very unofficial, cheaper buses, probably just run by locals, that we called the boogie buses, because you got on and there was incredibly loud music and there was just some chill locals, and they were a bit cheaper than like actual normal buses, and genuinely a lot more fun. But I couldn't really hear what anyone was saying when I was on them, so it was kind of hard to tell where we were up to when you were on them. But they were nice. All the locals were dead nice on them, so it was good. Then we looked at the shops. There's actually a giant duty-free shop, not in the airport. Because I've only ever seen duty-free shops in the airport, but there was one just in the town. Buses are your kryptonite. How do you get anywhere, friend? Well, then again, I suppose you could just drive or walk. Nah, buses aren't too bad. Those buses in particular were quite fun. But yeah, there was a duty-free shop just in town. Oh yeah, driving. Which I found really strange. I mean, there was such a big emphasis on tourism in Barbados, like to the point that their whole economy just took a massive hit during COVID because of it. And that's why they had a duty-free there, because it was mainly for tourists and stuff. The locals did not shop there, and it was a big shop. But it was crazy, because I was just like, I have never seen duty-free outside of the actual airport. It's so strange. It just boggled my mind. So we had to look through the duty-free, because why not? We are the tourists that it was targeted at, but we didn't find what we wanted, because my boyfriend's sister really likes espresso martinis. And for an espresso martini, you need some kind of coffee liqueur. But you know what the hotel was completely out of? Coffee liqueur. So we went in there trying to hunt for that, and we couldn't find any. Apparently there was just some kind of national shortage of coffee liqueur. It's terrible. She managed to find some. The donut shop at the hotel had some, but the donut shop lady apparently was a bit reluctant to let out. There was coffee, just not coffee liqueur. There was a specific coffee and donut shop on the hotel premises that everyone went for their coffees in the morning. Yeah. There wasn't alcoholic coffee. That was the problem. But we didn't find any. There was just some kind of issue somewhere. Apparently there's been like port strikes in different parts of the world that have affected supply chains and things like that. So I have no idea. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. But it was interesting that we couldn't find any anyway. And then we went home. Went back to the hotel, chilled out again, and then the next day came around. I think it was Friday at this point. And we had one more thing to do outside the hotel. And that was something called oisins. Oisins is a fish market. A fish Friday. I think it's a market in general. But they do a fish Fridays where a lot of different places do big tasty fish. I forgot the You're right, I forgot the sushi. You're on it. Sushi. So I love sushi. I love sushi a lot. Sushi's great, but it's kind of like awkward or expensive to get your hands on here. There aren't many places that do it, and if they do it, sometimes they don't do it well, or they do it at stupid prices. But there was a sushi restaurant on the hotel, and since the hotel was all inclusive, I didn't have to worry about how much it cost. So I got a metric shit ton of sushi. And it was all very tasty. You had some lobster sushi here. You had some, I think this was this mackerel? I think this was mackerel. You can see my mouse, can't you? Yeah, you can. Wonderful. No point in me pointing things out if you can't see it. We had rainbow California rolls here, so they had like something different on each one. I believe this was normal California rolls, I think. Then we had spicy tuna, you know, the stands. And then you had some brain tuna sashimi. And then some yellowtail sashimi, because you hear a lot about yellowtail, and this was really good. It was like really meaty, not like the tuna that kind of falls apart. This was like a little chewy, a little meaty, really good. Then you had, I think, some eel nigiri. No, that was the eel. I lied. That was the eel. And tuna that's not nigiri. I'm getting my brain mixed up. Yes, because these are maki rolls and these are nigiri. Salmon nigiri and tuna nigiri. And so good. And like if I want to go back just to have more sushi. I like sushi. Sushi is very tasty. And it just is just so hard to get here. Especially for prices. Do I have another thing? Okay, I have one more thing. I have one more photo. These are the only photos I took. And as you can see, it is food, and there's another food here. Can you tell my priorities in life? But yeah, so we had the sushi on the second day, didn't we? So we actually had the sushi before the food tour, actually. So I've done this a bit out of order. But who cares? As long as you know about how great my holiday was. That's all that matters. Was sushi after sushi was after the food tour? Sushi was after the food tour. I Red Robin knows better than I do. Just Red Robin. That takes us back to oisins. Yes. So after the sushi, which was glorious, we went to oisins. And oisins is like I said, a market that does a fish food Friday, and they do really big portions of stuff. We went and sat down, and when we were at the food tour, we asked a couple of people on the food tour about it, because it's quite a big big famous thing on the island, and a lot of people say when you go there, it's like, oh, you should try oysters, it's great. And so we asked them about it, like what vendors do they suggest to go to, and one of them suggested one, and we went there fairly early, and got a seat quite quick, which was great, because as we were eating, we saw other people start to arrive, and a lot of people sitting there waiting for seats because it just packed up so much. There was so many people, and even before we got our food, really. And also the freaking portion sizes. The food tour lady was not joking when she said that Barbadians like a lot of food, because the menu for it was, you pick your fish, you pick 2 starches, which would be like your rice or your mac and cheese or your chips or something like that, and then you can have 3 salads. You don't have to have 3 salads, but you can have 3 salads. And that was the meal. That was a massive pile of food you got given. It was intimidating, to say the least. I know. And the problem was, we didn't really go hungry because we had no idea what to expect. We had a little snack before we go because we just weren't sure whether we were actually going to like anything there, or if we were going to get a seat or anything like that. Yeah, 3 portions of salad from 3 choices of salad. There were a whole 3. There was, I think it was coleslaw, a tossed salad, and something else. I don't know, but 3 whole salads. It was crazy. It was just like, hey, have the salad. Pasta salad, that's the one. You have such a big brain. I do not. And I'm going to take a small drink. 1 second. And then, while we were eating, and we were pretty slow to like finish after eating because you just had a lot of food. You don't want to move so quickly. Oh, 1 second. Golden cookie! But there were obviously a couple people who had like been assigned our seats afterwards. And you know, like people like start looking and glaring and everything when you've been when they're waiting for you to move. We have this problem in like our local food market at the moment. There's like there isn't enough seats for the amount of people that go there at the moment. So you always have people like hovering, sort of watching you as you finishing your meal, going like, are they moving yet? And as much as I would normally give in to that sometimes, be like, we should probably move, boyfriend's sister did not give 2 shits. and I kind of enjoy the audacity sometimes. It's one of my passive aggressive things. I'm normally a very nice person, and I will normally kind of like give in to stuff like that. But it's the one time I'm just like, maybe I'll just be a little bit of a bitch today. Maybe I'll just make their day slightly worse and sit here just that little bit longer. And we did. We sat there, we happily finished our drinks, and took our sweet, sweet time vacating the very needed seats. And when we got up, we saw just how long that queue was, because it went round the corner from where we were actually sitting. And it went on for ages. We were told that some people who went to Oysons spent like an hour and a half potentially waiting to sit down. And after saying that, I can believe them, because that queue went on for ages. And we were just very lucky that we went at the time we did. So top tip, if you ever do go to Barbados and want to go to Oysons, go early, because then you will get your seat early. And after that, it was very busy and very noisy, and I am very introverted. Oh, bit of a shake. So me and my boyfriend left after that because it was a bit. It was a very party atmosphere after that, and it's just that's not for us. We're old fogies on the inside, and we were walking back, and we were literally talking about like, oh, it's really good, and the food was good, but it was getting a bit loud, and I couldn't really hear what people were saying, and no. And this old couple in front of us turned around and went, us too. It's like we were all walking home together. We just kind of found this group of potentially old people that we just resonated with, and we are not that old. We have old souls, the two of us. Much rather be at home and getting curled up in the bed, which we did. We just got snuggled and watched some TV. Speaking of the TV, actually, so we were getting mainly American channels while we were there. And I have to say, why are there so many medical adverts for like random shit, antidotes to whatever? Like there was one for like diabetes and one for like, I don't even know what they were on about most of the time, but there were so many adverts that were like, here, take this pill for this, or this pill for this. In Barbados, yeah, I think we got some like American channels and stuff. Freedom to buy your medication from this random channel. And the funniest bit was, you know how like on radio adverts and stuff like that, when they have to go terms and conditions apply, they had to do that with the side effects of the medicines as well. So it was like, oh, may cause itching and the diarrhea and blah blah blah, and may cause death. And it's like, wait, what? Wait, what? May make this actually worse. And it was like, how do you sell anything like that? I wouldn't trust any kind of pill from a TV advert either, to be honest. That's bonkers. It was absolutely bonkers to see. Just don't. Just a peek into another culture I have no idea about. There was also a oh really, they are like, and I find other countries' commercials fascinating. Because obviously, like, each country has got their own, like, interests and targets and things like that. Different cultures mean you can advertise to people differently. So it's always fascinating to go to another country and see what the adverts are. I mean, like, famously, Japan's adverts are wild, aren't they? They're just like, and then you've got this super gummy, amazing duo thingamajig. Oh no, Luke, you gotta go. Well, thank you for popping in and listening to me rant about my holiday. It's not too exciting from here on in either, so it's fine. Glad you stopped by too. Thank you. Yeah, it's always fascinating. I love watching other countries' adverts when you go to their country. It's better with Barbados and stuff, at least, because then it's in English. When I went to Japan and there's no subtitles on the adverts, it's a little bit harder. So when you see foreign adverts, foreign language adverts, you tend to only see the subbed ones that are the wildest ones. Like, have you ever seen that series of adverts in Japan about the chewing gum, the long chewing gum? So good. It's like a whole sitcom drama in a chain of adverts about this long chewing gum. Highly suggest looking them up. You'll have a bit of a giggle on your day. It'll be great. There was also, was it Castle? Yeah, there was also a run of Castle on the TV, and I've never watched Castle, so that was interesting. The detective show about the writer, which you think I would know, as a writer, about a detective show about a writer who just forces his way in because he wants inspiration for his writing, like Mood, right? But he was a bit of a butthole. I didn't really like him. But there was a marathon on. I got to see a lot of that while we were chilling out in the room, waiting for stuff. Oh, golden cookie, golden cookie, golden cookie, golden cookie. Yeah. Yeah, I'm back from my sins. I went to sleep. And after that, there really wasn't much else going on for the whole holiday, because, like I said, we kind of front-loaded everything so that we could just chill out for the rest of the holiday. And so I could just enjoy the resort, which, as I said, had a donut shop, and with everything being all-inclusive, that included the donuts, which were very tasty. Not quite as soft and cakey as I would have liked. They were a bit crumbly, I guess. But they were still tasty. And there was another place that did crepes, and I was very upset when I went to go get a crepe, and they said crepes weren't available right now. And that was the only chance I really had to get one while I was there. So I didn't manage to get a crepe, which makes me very sad. Ooh, we can get a shipment. Nice. Da-da! Should buy things, get more cookies. And then. What else did we have? On the last day, I'm going to skip to the last day a bit, because we mainly just chilled out. I read lots of books. I read Magical Girl Raising Project, which, if I hadn't picked that book to read, I probably would have been able to come back and have 9,978 books, because the Magical Girl Raising Projects currently that are out, at least the last two, have been quite fat. They've been a good 550 so pages, which is about double the amount of pages for most of the books I've been reading on this channel and generally on my own. So it took me a long time to get through. It took me most of the holiday. And even then, I think I started it a little bit before the holiday as well. I was about 20% of the way through before we even got on the plane. But we got there, and then I started reading, and I'm still reading a Bioshock book, which is like a prequel to the game. And I think, if I can get permission, it would be really cool to play Bioshock, and every so often take a pause and like read you a bit of the book of like, okay, so this is what it was like in this part of Rapture before here, and this is what it's like in the game, and that'll be really fun. But that's if I can get permission, because this one is like actually published books. Most of the books that I've had permission to read have been self-published, so I've specifically spoken to the author. Whether an actual publisher will listen to me is a whole other question. So I won't get your hopes up, but I really, really want to do that stream. I think that'd be so much fun. It could be a Halloween sort of thing, because obviously Bioshock is a wee bit spooky. And I'm not good with spooky. I've never been good with spooky. But Bioshock is one of the few exceptions. I have actually managed to finish that game. Admittedly, I couldn't do it alone. I had to have people with me the whole time. It wasn't a copy I owned, so I was always at a friend's house whenever I was doing it. So I had moral support, and I never played it with the lights off or the curtains closed. That is the only way I can play horror games. With lights on and moral support. But I digress. I digress. One of the restaurants on the hotel grounds in the resort, that's the words I'm looking for, was a teppanyaki place, which was really cool. So in case anyone doesn't know, teppanyaki is like when they got the big grill and they cook all the stuff in front of you, and they do the cool tricks with the cutlery, and then you do that thing where they like flick a bit of food at you and you try to catch it in your mouth, and it was terrible. We were terrible at it. In great tradition though, so we had on our table, we had 3 British couples, a couple from Canada, and a couple from America. And pretty much, I think the only people who managed to catch the food in their mouths were one of the Canadian couples and both the American ones, and makes sense. we let the side down for UK. We absolutely did. None of us could catch it in our mouths. We did miss the food. It was terrible. But we got to have a little bit of everything, which is great. Because we were looking at the menu, and when it came to the mains, it was just like lists of meat, really, and which meats you could have. There was like steak, chicken, some prawns, shrimp. I want to know, what is the difference between a shrimp and a prawn? Because Americans call them shrimps. But like, I look at that and it's a prawn. And I wonder if there's like an actual difference, or is this just a language thing? I'm going to Google this right now. What is the difference between a shrimp and a prawn? Someone else has Googled this. What's the difference? Difference between shrimps and prawns. Yeah, because I always see it on movies and stuff like that, and they're saying it's a shrimp thing, and it's like, no, that's a freaking prawn. What are you on about? Variations differ between countries, apparently. In UK, Australia, New Zealand, and Ireland, prawn is the general term used to describe both prawns and shrimp. So there is a difference, but we call shrimps prawns regardless on whether they're actually shrimps or prawns. In North America, the term shrimp is used much more frequently, while the word prawn is most often used to describe larger species or those fished from fresh water. However, shrimp and prawn are not used in the same context consistently, making it difficult to know which crustacean you are actually purchasing. I see. So we're in the wrong for that one for once. We just call it all prawns even when it's actually shrimps. Today I learned. But yeah, reason I got onto that is we got to taste all of the different meats, and it was wonderful. And then we had pudding. I took a picture of the pudding. One of the few things I took a picture of. And it was this guava pudding with a green tea, little mousse on top, and a sesame seed shard. And it was very tasty. And I'm glad I took a picture, because then I can remember how tasty it was. Because otherwise I would forget. And weirdly, I tend to like green tea flavoured things, but I actually didn't like the mousse. I know. It is green. Pistachio is the first thought when you see green. But the actual guava one was nice and sweet and very lovely and very light after having so much meat and a little bit of rice. And it was tasty. Having sesame in sweet things is always very interesting. When I went to Japan many years ago. It's actually like 6 years ago now. I went to Japan, but I had sesame ice cream while I was there, which was very tasty. Very enjoyed. That's not words. That I enjoyed very much. Those are correct words. Anyway. And that was the final one. That was the last pudding I had there. Because after that, it was just more chill. But well, between what I've told you and that was just lots of chill, lots of poolside chill. Didn't actually go to the ocean. There was a beach on the resort grounds. I don't really like the beach though. Like, the sea is nice, but the beach I find just, not to sound like a certain Star Wars character, but sand just gets everywhere. It's coarse and rough and annoying. And just not worth it when you could just sit by the pool and have water and drinks and just be not having to rub sand out of everything. Much prefer it. And this is where I should have taken more notes. We had a steak place that we went to, but I don't feel like that's too noteworthy. It was incredibly good steak, and you really can't say much about an incredibly good steak other than it was an incredibly good steak. Steak is good. You can't beat just a chunk of meat that is well cooked. You don't even need to season it that much. It's great. You just chunk beef. Yum. And again, it was all exclusive. We could have like the expensive cuts and not have to worry about any prices. It was glorious. Glorious, I tell you. But then sadly it was time to go home. And go to the airport. And the airport was small, as you would expect. I think there's only one airport on all of Barbados. But because of that, it was quite quick to get through, because unlike flying out from like Manchester or Heathrow or something like that, where you have to walk like several miles to get to your terminal, there was like, I don't know, 20 something terminals in Barbados, and they were all pretty much right next to each other. So you didn't have to go walking miles for anything, which was wonderful. Problem was, unlike the flight on the way in, the flight on the way out was packed. So there was no chance of me being able to sprawl on a few empty seats, which sucked. However, by that point, I was kind of exhausted, so I think I managed to doze off a little bit anyway. I also watched Troy on the way back, which I have never watched before. But I've been getting a little bit more into the whole Greek mythology thing thanks to the Epic musical, which I highly suggest listening to if you haven't already. It's so good! So Troy was fun. With Achilles and his cousin. Yes, cousin. That's how it is. That's funny. You gotta make him straight. If we make him sleep with a lady, then he's definitely not gay, right? He would totally go absolutely berserk if his cousin died, wouldn't he, right? He would totally, like, completely ruin this prince's life and afterlife because his cousin died, right? That's absolutely reasonable. When the woman he's boning doesn't do anything remotely like that for her cousin that he murdered. You know, reasonable stuff. And then we were home. We got in like 6 o'clock in the morning. And that, after a 9-hour flight, getting in at 6 o'clock in the morning was rough. Oh, rough as heck. However, the taxi had been booked. All we had to do was drag our butts to the taxi, drag our butts indoors. Didn't have to pay because the taxi was already pre-booked, and have a godly cup of tea and go to bed. Because no matter where you go, and even if you take your own tea bags like I do, you can never have a decent cup of tea while you're on holiday. And 1 second, I kind of need to blow my nose. Yeah, back. Yeah. So that first cup of tea when you get back is godly. But my problem was, when I got back, is I got a little bit sick. I had a sore throat from holiday because, I don't know, I just caught one. And then I think that must have lowered my immune system a little bit because there was some coughing and spluttering on the airplane on the way back. And I think I must have caught something, which is why I'm a little sniffly now. Luckily, we recovered before Sunday's stream. After much sleeping. It's so hard to adjust when you come back from different time zones. I found that when I was getting back and we'd hit about lunchtime, and I just start drifting off a little bit. And it'd be so hard to stay awake. And I go to bed on time, like a good girl, but then I'd stay in bed a little bit too long. And then I'd try nap at lunchtime. And we're back now, because I had to go to work today. We were back at work day, unfortunately. So I pretty much got the sleeping pattern back, and if I don't, then it's going to be beaten into submission in the next few days. But I think that's about it. That's about my holiday. Da-da-da! Told you the things. Ain't that great? Cookies. I can easily talk about Cookie Clicker too. I'm low-key obsessed with Cookie Clicker. I have this game, specifically the one that's running right now, is one that I sometimes bring up while playing D&D. I haven't played this one that much in comparison to the one on my phone. A lot of people who play Cookie Clicker suggest that you don't play it on your phone because it doesn't have as many of the options. But if you play it on your phone, it runs all the time. Whereas if you're playing it on desktop here, then it only runs while you have it open, which is a bit naff, honestly. Like, it means that you have to be at your PC a lot to idle and get all the cookies. So it's not, to me personally, it's not practical. I can see why people like it, but it's not practical to me. Whereas so on this one, I've got a billion cookies. I'm doing 1,000,000 per second on my phone. I'm doing what is it? Cookies per second. 216 quintillion cookies a second on my phone. That's how far I am compared to this. And I love the things I love about Cookie Clicker. I'll tell you, I love the flavor text on Cookie Clicker. So you've got this like, the whole planet enjoys your cookies. Like, the sense of humor in this game is wonderful. It makes me happy. Genetically modified chocolate controversy strikes cookie farmers. Whoever made it just had way too much fun. However, I need to take a small break because I need to use the librarian's room, I guess. BRB. barely have to use that screen, which is a good thing. I don't normally stream long enough, I guess, to actually need to run off and do things between. Oh, we have enough for shipment again. Ba-ba-ba. They have these sugar lumps, and you can use them for something, but I don't know what. Oh, I see. We can use them to worship stuff to get. There's so much more. Like I said, the mobile version doesn't have a lot of this stuff, so I don't know what a lot of this stuff actually does. So this is gonna be golden cookie. Oh, it's a clicky one. I need to click. Click. Super powered clicky clicks. Do. Super powered clicky clicks. Do. Yay. So, Golden Wrath cookie. Hollow Ball, as in like Hollow Life. Spirit of Ascentism, which gives me just a big buff to CPS. Let's just make him there. We like that. Oh no, so they have like negatives as well. So this is just cookie clicker. That's what this game is. It's just cookie clicker. You click, you make cookies to make more, to buy things, to make more cookies. It is nothing more than watching numbers go up. That is it. Oh, so that is a big CPS boost, but the buildings go down. That buffs clicks. I don't know what that does. Switching seasons? I don't know what that is. I mean, only a minor cookie cult. It's only a little cult, actually. Grandmas, yeah! I've got 90 grandmas cooking for me. On the game I've got on my phone, I've gotten far enough for the grandma apocalypse to happen. Where the grandmas get possessed by eldritch entities and terrible things happen. So there's no other thingy. Oh, sugar lumps. I mean, I'm not 100% what sugar lumps do, but you're a generally positive person. So I think that's okay. And we should probably go for the big CPS boost. Okay, cool. Yeah, you can... In these upgrades here, there's one that's called the Research/Bingo Center. And once you get that, you can research things. And one of the research things is called the One Mind. And once you get that, everything on this kind of UI starts to change. We won't get that far today, so I won't be able to show you guys. But if I ever get far enough on this game, then maybe I'll do a small stream and just show you what the grandma apocalypse looks like. But so you get some spooky grandma background here. This little icon for grandma starts looking really spooky and awful. There's a movie called Legion with a demon grandma. Legion demon grandma. I need to see this. Internet. Oh, right. Glad I haven't seen that movie. That looks terrifying. Legion demonic old lady scene. I won't watch that. It's too close to bedtime. I don't want to be spooked by old ladies before I go to bed. Let's close the pantheon of cookies. Can I play with the stock market a little bit? Ooh. Ooh, is that up? No, that's not up. Don't blame you. Looks awful. What do I use my sugar lumps for? Oh, it's for this, isn't it? Yeah, so I can level this up. Yeah. Oh yeah, and I can level up these as well. Oh. So I can level up the banks and the factories and the grandmas. We should level up the grandmas. And the farms and the mines. And the factories. I have been blessed to not know what you're talking about other than an internet image. And I will keep it that way. I feel like I should just do general ones. I'll just get everything up to level 4 or something. I don't know. I don't know the tactic. Just an absolutely iconic moment that will haunt everyone's dreams. I see. I'm glad it will not haunt mine. Clicky, clicky. I know a lot of people tend to use auto clickers for stuff like this, but like, what's the point in that? Where's the fun in that? As much as maybe getting repetitive strain injury isn't a good idea. Clicking, what's the point in the clicker if you don't click it yourself? Can I get more cursors? Yeah, I can get. Ooh, we can get a lot of stuff. Can I get 100 of things in it yet? No. I keep comparing this to the phone version because I work on the phone version a lot more. But there's an extra one here on the phone version that just says max, so you can see like how many you can afford of each one. But we should probably go get in the tens of things so that we can. Because if you get to the milestones on here, you get more upgrades up here, which will double what they do. And then you get more cookies to make more cookies to afford more things to make more cookies to afford more things to make more cookies to afford more things. I mean, everyone just wants cookies, right? I mean, we're getting brings fresh cookies straight from the cookie planet with the shipments. And we've got the wizards summoning cookies in their towers. And we're also doing the British tradition of plundering cookies from ancient temples. And I still have so many sugar lumps, so I should carry on leveling things. Numbers go up, brain goes burr. Yee! Tiny cookies. Hour and a half. I'm quite happy with that. This is kind of the first time I've ever done a just mostly talking stream. Like I said, other than maybe the focus streams when I play the capybara bits and I chat shit then. This is the only one where I've kind of come in and gone like, yes, this is a chatting stream. And I've been a bit worried if I'm, entertaining enough to carry a chatting stream, but here we are doing it anyway. If you're scared, do it anyway. That's how you gotta do things. View Grimoire? Ooh, can I unlock a thing? What do we got here? Summon half an hour's worth of your CPS capped at 15%, but it can trigger a 15-minute clot and lose 15 minutes of your CPS. That's pretty poop. Oh, we have mana? We have like a spell cost thing? Oh, interesting. All active buffs gain 10% more time for up to 5 minutes. Okay, so if I had the frenzy back again, I could probably click that. Upgrades are 2% cheaper for 1 minute. That's cool. Buildings are 2% cheaper for 1 minute. Cast a random spell at half the magic cost with twice the chance of backfiring. Oh no. Spell backfired 10 times less for the next 5 minutes. So you could cast like that and then that. And then hopefully it doesn't backfire. And then I have this Magic Adept. But then I have to wait for that to recharge. So that might not have been the smartest thing to do. But oh well, now we know. Now we understand. Probably get my butt in on the stock market as well. Just try to buy like 10 of everything. Do I have sugar lumps? I have 2 sugar lumps. Or at least try buy like 1 of everything. So that if it does go up, I can try make some kind of profit. You know, like the bros, make them stonks. Did I level up the stock market? Yes, I did. That's already level 6. So level 6, level 6, level 6, level 6. Heck yeah, hecky spaghetti. There's no mini game with the mines, which is very sad. You could make like a little Minecraft mini game or something where you go mine for chocolate. I can get some stuff going on in the garden though. If I harvest all, freeze, chronically preserve your garden. But first I need to plant things before you can harvest things. This is gonna take a lot of cookies to fill out. Wow. Yeah, I can no longer afford a wizard tower because I filled this up. Oh, golden cookie! Oh, it's a clicky one. Clicky, click, 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 click. Yes, cookie farms. Clicking, click faster. Click, click, click. Yay. Click many times. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. I don't want to go too wild on the garden. Yes, we had the banks with the cookie market. Yeah, everything's down at the moment actually. So I should buy some more stuff while it's down. I can like buy 5 of things. That would be great. It would. I would love to have like a cookie tree outside or something like that. Nothing would make me happier than be like, oh, good morning, I'm gonna go harvest the cookies today. And then can you imagine going out as a kid and go like cookie like you'd go strawberry picking as a kid, you'd go cookie picking. That would be wonderful. Yeah, so your magic meter. Each spell uses magic. Your maximum amount depends on your wizard towers. Yeah, so there's no speeding that up. How's the pan thing going? Oh, looks like this one went real fast. If a golden cookie is clicked, the spirit is unslotted, and all worship swaps will be used up. Oh, okay. I see. So that's the negative that one comes with. Ooh, butter's gone up a lot. Butter. This one, butter. Butter. Oh, I don't remember what things for. I just know it's gone up a lot now. But then I should leave it. What if it goes up again on the next round? The drama. The drama. What's the line? Oh, that's confusing. Let's not do that. How about color mode? Oh, that's a bit nicer. I like looking at that. That's a bit better. Are you not finished yet? I guess it's still got time. whole planet is enjoying the cookies. Although I think I'm gonna... Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a day here. We've had a little bit of cooking. I've chatted a lot, and it's been really fun. It's been really good just to rant it out. And thank you for Luke, thank you Q, and thank you for Red Robin for correcting me at times, because my brain does not retain the info and I get flustered. But I hope it's been a somewhat entertaining stream. Like I said, this is kind of my first chat stream. I wasn't sure, but yeah. Hopefully my suntan will go down by next stream, because tomorrow we'll be playing some Final Fantasy. Oh, golden cookie, golden cookie, golden cookie, golden cookie, yay! Oh no, it's a clicking one again! Okay, well, I'm here until the clicking leaves, because I can't, not click. Yes, Red Robin, you are my brain. You are indeed my brain. You are at least one of my brain cells. I do have some, and I prove it when I play Strange Horticulture, but I also disprove it when I play Strange Horticulture. Who knows? I can't. I've done a lot of talking. My brain's not working anymore. But yes. So I'll be back tomorrow with some Final Fantasy. My sunburn should hopefully go down. I am not an alien. I am not. I'm just sunburned. I'll be back tomorrow. Final Fantasy. I will no longer be sunburnt, because I can. And we just beat Titan, so I can't remember what happens after that. Not very well, anyway. Oh, my thing stopped. The bonus stopped. Anyway, I'm brain too much talking at once. And I wasn't just reading it. I have streams obviously where I talk constantly, but that's reading. That's a whole different kettle of fish. This kettle of fish is... Yeah, I need to shut up. I need to just go. Yeah, thank you Q, thank you everyone, thank you Luke in the chat, thank you to anyone who lurked, thank you to anyone who watches the VOD. If you could leave the likes and the subscribes, that would be wonderful and make me happy, but if you don't, that's also fine. You do you. This has been Brandon Rose Smith live from the Forbidden Library. Thank you and goodbye!